Trump administration parting ways with the head of its Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, division. For that story, we'll go to NBC's Julia Ainsley. Julia, you're the first person to report this, and it comes after simmering tensions from President Trump and Tom Homan about the pace of deportations and the effort there, right?
Yeah, Allie, I know our heads can be spinning at the end of this week with everyone who's in and who's out in this administration, but the context of this one here is really important. Caleb Vitello is someone who was assigned as acting ICE director because he was a longtime career law enforcement individual who also had close personal ties previously working with Stephen Miller at the NSC under the previous Trump administration. Stephen Miller thought he was someone who was strong and would get mass deportations up, but as we've reported, those deportation numbers have not kept pace with the expectations that Trump or his border czar, Tom Homan, had. In fact, we know Trump has recently been angry, and Tom Homan has been blaming people within ICE for not getting those numbers up. Vitello himself is the one who gave those ICE agents a directive to say that they had to be arresting between 1,200 and 1,500 migrants a day. We know the numbers aren't anywhere near that number. In fact, they hover around 800 a day, and many of those haven't even led to deportation. So now we understand that Caleb Vitello will stay on at ICE. He will be overseeing the day-to-day arrest and targeting of immigrants, but they are looking for someone else to fill this job as acting ICE director, someone who then would go possibly before the Senate to try to be confirmed to this position. They want someone more political, we're hearing, someone even more closely tied to the Trump administration, and someone who they think will get them bigger results, Allie. What this says is that the Trump administration is frustrated with the deportation so far, and they want heads to roll as a result of it.
So essentially what you're looking at is this is how it usually operates within like private equity, private businesses, small businesses, and in the private sector, is that you're an at-will employee. And so even though they didn't fire him, they only reassigned him. They want to find somebody in leadership that can come up with more effective ways outside of Tom Homan to be able to make sure that they get people arrested and prevent them from continuing to commit crimes against the American people. And I'm 100% in support of it. They're saying that the numbers are around 800 a day. They want to get that to probably double if possible. One of the problems that they're running into, and this is an issue from a political perspective, and I'm going to break it down from a couple different lenses. One of the things that they want to do is they are trying to work with these sanctuary cities and these cities that are basically strongholds for migrants, illegal migrants that cross over into the border illegally. And they're trying to work with them and basically say, hey, y'all let us know if y'all arrest these illegal migrants that are committing crimes. And when you arrest them, instead of doing catch and release, you work with the administration or you work with the federal government, and, you know, we can come and arrest them and then make sure that they get deported because they're not supposed to be here in the first place. Well, what a lot of these sanctuary cities are doing, including Denver, Los Angeles, and Chicago, is they are telling the Trump administration, and they're mandating, they're literally banning their workforce, and their police officers and the federal officers are getting frustrated at the fact that they are saying that we will not contact you, we will not work with you, and it is mandated against us to actually contact you and let you know that we've arrested an illegal migrant that has committed a crime. And basically what they're doing is they're doing a catch and release. Also, on top of that, you're seeing public legislators, which is basically a form of treason, the Jasmine Crockett's, the AOCs, that's not only helping migrants and telling them how they can avoid getting arrested, but also on top of that, what they're doing is they are intentionally trying to slow the process down to a snail's pace. And they're taking a two-headed monster approach and making sure that the Trump administration, and they're trying to act like the Trump administration is not successful in their deportations and making sure that they execute on the will of the American people. And that's why you see them on tour. That's why you see them doing live streams. That's why you see all of them, including Bernie Sanders, basically preventing or impeding on the arrest of people that is not supposed to be here. And they are working with mayors, they are working with the governors of these liberal cities that basically is preventing illegal migrants from getting arrested and or working with them. And so they're not deporting them, they're not reporting them to the feds. And so the Trump administration is basically reassigning this person because it takes more than just saying we want you guys to arrest 12, 14, 1,600 people illegally in this country. We also want to remove the barriers that allow for us to be successful at our jobs, which is one of the things that they've been able to do over in New York City with Eric Adams. And now you got Kathy Hochul acting like she's considering removing Eric Adams from his position as New York City mayor, because now ICE has access over to Rikers Island and being able to get people out of here and getting them deported to get these numbers up, right? So that is essentially what is happening over in this administration, and why it's important for the Trump administration to find a person to actually get the people done, or get these agendas done on behalf of the American people that elected them.
And a lot of eyes going to be on whoever they put in the ICE director position, given the high priority on aggressive deportation enforcement this administration has put there. Julia Ainsley, thank you for that.
So this is, for example, one of the things that we have to deal with now that we're starting to get more body cam footage of what even people out in the Illinois suburbs that is completely against what is happening as far as Chicago and all of these places becoming sanctuary cities. This is some of the stuff that they had to deal with, and why ICE and immigration officials are having trouble finding the people that are committing some of the worst crimes inside of the United States of America that you and I would never be able to get away with.
Immigration crackdown reaching far beyond the southern border. This is exclusive new video that shows migrants in Illinois leading police on a dangerous high-speed chase. That is a cornfield. Mike Tobin's live in Chicago. What happened here, Mike? Hello.
Well, Bill, you know the Illinois governor and mayor of Chicago are opposed to immigration reform efforts from the Trump administration. But now you've got counties in Illinois who are stepping up to say they've got enough problems and don't want to be a sanctuary.
True 5, he just took off on me.
Two Hondurans in the U.S. illegally lead police on a high-speed chase through cornfields an hour and a half outside Chicago.
Pit. Subject is on foot, running northbound through the field. On foot, northbound through the field. Get your hands up. Get them up.
18-year-old Royben Barahona, 23-year-old Christian Arazo Velasquez arrested. 7 pounds of fentanyl found in the car.
Three bricks.
The Illinois Safety Act eliminates cash bond. Barahona was released without bail and quickly fled to California. Velasquez is still held in the Grundy County Jail. The county chairman believes they were in Illinois because it's a sanctuary state.
Think about this for a minute. The Safety Act, which we've been reporting on for a while now, the Safety Act basically allows for illegal migrants and criminals to be released and not have to post bail, which then allows for them to basically become a fugitive and flee to a completely different state and or flee outside of the country, even though they were caught with 3 bricks. Isn't this crazy? Isn't it insane to think that we have legislators that are working against the interests of Americans, and they are able to flood the United States of America and all of your cities with these drugs and not have any problem with getting out of jail and not even be worried about being arrested because they know that it's going to be a catch and release situation? Basically, it's saying if you want to commit crime or you want to be an illegal, come over here to Chicago or come over here to Illinois.
If we had a less welcoming state for illegal immigration, I don't know if they would have been traveling those roadways.
The irony is it all happened in Grundy County, the first county in Illinois to push back against the Democrat governor and pass a resolution declaring the county does not welcome illegal migrants. As a result, when migrants from Texas were bused to Chicago and surrounding suburbs, Grundy County never received a busload.
And the results speak for themselves, as we haven't had the problems that other counties, municipalities have had by not being non-sanctuary.
Now, dozens of Illinois counties reached out to Grundy, copied their language, and passed their own non-sanctuary resolutions. Now, incidentally, Barahona was picked up in California. He's held for another incident in San Francisco. ICE has issued a detainer for Velasquez, requesting that they get notification if he will be released. But Grundy County officials cannot grant that request. That would be a violation of the Illinois Trust Act, which prevents local police from communicating with their federal counterparts over immigration matters.
Insane. So they can't even communicate when they find somebody that is doing something against the law that should be deported, because it all became political and they don't want the Trump administration to do the thing that's best for the American people. Insane. Absolutely crazy. But this is where we are inside of the United States of America, where our safety has become politicized. Our jobs have become politicized. What we're using our tax dollars on has become politicized, and it's not best for the American people. Make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, teach Henley 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to continue to keep you guys updated. I love you. Peace.